Welcome to part one of my video on creating a Stardew Valley inspired cross-stitch portrait. In this video, we'll cover how to design your own cross-stitch pattern. We'll begin by gathering all the elements of the design and putting them together into a single image in GIMP, and then uploading that to a software called FlossCross to generate the pattern. For this, I took screenshots of each of the characters from the game Stardew Valley that I wanted to include, but you can use any elements that you would like from Stardew Valley or otherwise, and the basic effect will be similar. Once you have all of the elements that you would like to include in your pattern, meet me over in GIMP and let's get started. All right, so our first step here is going to be to open a new file. And for this, I'm just setting it to letter page size. This is going to be our blank canvas. Next, we're going to go ahead and open the image file that we want to use for the pattern. I'm going to open up this cropped screenshot of the character I built in Stardew Valley. And we are going to zoom in using that menu on the bottom. And in order to crop out this image of the person from the background, we're going to use the paths tool. So if you look over on the left and select this tool here, that looks kind of like an ink pot. It will allow us to sort of draw a path around the image that we want to crop out of the picture. So you'll kind of see here, I'm just following the pixels of the character, clicking with the mouse to sort of create the path. You can always rearrange it if you need to or go back, but we're going to get all the way around the figure here, and then at the end, to close the loop, we're going to press the Control key on the keyboard while clicking the first dot. At this point, you'll want to click Selection from Path, and then right-click on that original image to make sure there's an alpha channel. So if your add alpha channel is not grayed out, you'll want to go ahead and do that first. And then right-click again and add layer mask. And then we're going to add selection. Perfect. Okay. So once we've done this, we want to go to the select tool and select none. And now we can drag that image back to that first blank canvas that we opened and drop it in there. So you'll see here is the cropped image, and to make it a little bit bigger, we can use the scale tool, and that will give us this sort of little box around the character. And if we click and drag the corner, it should make the image larger without adjusting sort of the proportions. So from here, you can use the grab tool after you've resized it, so to pick up the image and move it around, rearrange it on the canvas. And then we're just going to follow that same process for each of the elements that we want to add. And you'll see here, this is my finished sort of image that I'm going to be working with. Next, we want to go ahead and click File and Export As. Then we'll get this window that should give us the opportunity to rename the file. So you can go ahead and do that. My computer is being a little bit laggy and slow with this program. You might find that yours is a little bit faster or slower depending on your computer. But once you've got that title in there and you've selected where you want to save it, go ahead and click Export. And then it'll just take a moment and we'll get that second box, and we're going to keep the default settings and click Export again. All right, the next step in our process is going to be to upload the image that we made in GIMP to this pattern making software. So we're going to go to the website FlossCross.com. This is a free online cross-stitch pattern maker. You don't have to register or sign up or anything. We can just go to that website and click Create Pattern. You'll see here the original pattern that I started working with, but I will walk through the process with you in this new slot here. So since we're working from an image that we've already made, we're going to select from image. Otherwise, you could draw your image using new if you want to do that. We're going to go from image and then select. And you're going to want to find wherever you saved that file that we made in GIMP and go ahead and open that up. And then I'm just going to adjust the crop a little bit. So we've got all this white space, and I kind of want the characters here to be centered. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to click continue. And then here it's telling us the size of the chart. So you see chart width, chart height. This refers to the number of stitches in the Aida cloth. And we're going to be using 14 count Aida, which means that there's 14 stitches per square inch. And I'm going to be cross-stitching this onto like using an 8-inch hoop. So I know that if I multiply 14 and 8, I roughly want it down to closer to 100. Okay, I think that's pretty good, and I feel pretty good about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and click continue. And this is where we select the number of colors that we want our pattern to have. It'll start you with a default of 30, which is a lot. 15 is a more manageable number of colors to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it to use 15 colors. I'm going to go ahead and continue again. And then here it's giving us another opportunity to narrow down the number of colors if we want to. Even though I told it to use 15, saying that the actual number of colors that will be used is going to be 14, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and select finish. And at this point, the program allows us to do some editing if we would like to. So we can use the paint tool and we can select any of the colors in this palette here. And we can edit or adjust kind of how things turn out. Like you see here, the edge of this little like bubble around the heart kind of got lost. So I might take, I think it's this dark brown color, and add that back in. Something like that. So similarly, if you don't like some of the colors here, you can change them. You can even go into the color that you have selected. Right now I have the brown one selected. So if I click on where it's showing here, it will allow me to customize the color, so I can change it to something else. The nice thing about this program is that it gives you the exact code, I guess, for the color, so that when you're going to buy embroidery floss, you can go to the specific brand, DMC, get 839, you'll get that exact color. Similarly, if you have another color that you feel like is very similar at home, you could replace the color and type in the code of the one that you have here, and it would change it on the pattern. And then one last thing that I wanted to show you guys, well, a couple things I guess. So there is kind of this middle red line going down the middle of the project, both vertically and horizontally. And you'll see that it's not exactly through like this heart bubble. Things aren't quite centered. So what we can do is we can take this select tool, and if we draw it around, let's see, some of the stitches here. Let's try that again. Then we can click and move those. I'm going to move those over there for now, and I want this heart bubble to be more exactly in the middle. And then just gonna move these guys back a little bit. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And okay, from here, we can keep playing around and adjusting the colors if you'd like. You can even pull up that original image file that we made and see if it looks the way that you're wanting it to look. But then when we're ready to export it into the pattern, we're going to go up here to this hamburger menu in the top left corner and select export. Since we just want to generate the pattern, we're going to go to PDF. And it's going to give us some options here. We can change the name of the pattern. We could add the description if we want to. Here, let's see, preview. We can kind of see what we're looking at. So it'll show us the pattern here, and then at the end, it lists all of the colors and sort of the key. So I'm going to tell it to sort, instead of by the floss code, by the color number, I'm going to do a sort by stitch count. The colors that have the most stitches will be at the top of that list. That's just a personal preference, but you can do it differently if you'd like to. And then we're going to do save to PDF, and you can rename it. We're just going to leave it and hit OK. And there we go. All right, here's my pattern, the background, all of those white cross stitches I ended up leaving in the pattern, and those will show on the pattern that I should stitch them white, but I'm just going to ignore that and know that I'm leaving the area around the characters blank instead of stitching it. There's the arrows on the top and the side of the pattern to indicate the center lines, and it overflows into the second page, so you could print it off to line them up, or just kind of know, like count out where they stop and start. And then we've got the key here at the bottom. Again, it shows white as being the largest because of those background stitches. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out part 2 for everything you need to know to start stitching.